What do you think was going to happen?
I don't know.
You don't know what would have happened?
Well, I mean, obviously I know, but... And I'm in a panic. There's a baby in front of me.
Okay.
A New Mexico teen who gave birth to a little boy and then put him in a trash bag and threw the bag into a dumpster wants her conviction for attempted first-degree murder and child abuse overturned. She was given a prison sentence but believed that whole conviction should be overturned. Well, now the appeals court has made a ruling. We're going to take a look back at this disturbing case, the arguments she made on appeal, and why the panel of judges said those arguments just don't work. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law&Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. Well, it is that season again, open enrollment, comparing the exploitative premiums and fine print of health insurance. It's pretty chaotic to say the least. Here's the good news. Crowd Health is different. Why? The members fund each other's bills directly. If something big happens, you pay the first $500 and the crowd funds the rest. They have a track record of handling major events, including bills over $1 million, giving you confidence that you need. Plus, you get access to low-cost prescriptions, testing, high-quality doctors. And look, with ACA subsidies expiring, premiums, they're going to skyrocket. And so far, members have saved over $40 million. So this open enrollment, take your power back. Join Crowd Health to get started today for $99 for your first 3 months. Use code SIDEBAR at joincrowdhealth.com. Crowd Health, it's not insurance. You can opt out. This is how we win. Joincrowdhealth.com. Alexis Avila had just turned 18 in January of 2022. This is when she was caught on camera throwing her baby into a dumpster in Hobbs, New Mexico. And hours later, thankfully, a group of people who were looking through the trash found a bag with the newborn inside. This is something that a judge in this case later called a miracle. Against all odds, this baby survived. Now, Avila told police that she hadn't known she was pregnant, said during her attempted murder trial that she had, quote, blacked out during the birth, as well as when she went to the dumpster. What happened? A jury convicted her in May of 2023 for both attempted murder and child abuse involving great bodily harm. She was sentenced to 18 years in prison, but got 2 years of credit for time served, so 16 years in prison. But then, what happens? Just a few months after the sentence was handed down, now we got this legal back and forth. Stay with me for a second. So Avila appealed, and her attorneys requested that she be released pending the results of that appeal. The district judge denied that. But then, 2 judges on the appeals court reversed that ruling. So in other words, Avila was released on house arrest, pending the outcome of the appeal. The problem for her, she's now headed back to prison. Why? That same appeals court considered her arguments for why her conviction should be tossed out, and they disagreed with her. They upheld her conviction, going back to prison. Now, the appeals court's decision came down earlier this month, and I want to put it into perspective because it puts this whole disturbing case back into the spotlight. So what we wanted to do is dig into the details, go through it all, go through the evidence, go through the arguments that were made to the court and why the court disagreed, okay? Security cameras near that dumpster. They give us a play-by-play of what happened. Let's start there. It's a little after 7:30 p.m. on January 7th. 3 people are rummaging through these large trash bins near the Broadmoor Mall. They come across this black trash bag. They pull it out, thinking maybe there was a puppy or a kitten inside, and you can see the moment that the woman realizes that the towel inside the bag is wrapped around a baby. His umbilical cord was still attached. Now, the woman sat in a truck with the boy to help keep him warm. According to prosecutors, he was out in the cold for around 6 hours. Investigators went back into that security footage to see who would be so callous enough to throw away a helpless baby, and this is what they found. A white sedan pulls into the mall parking lot and heads directly for those dumpsters, parking beside one. A woman identified as Alexis Avila gets out, opens the front door to the back seat, grabs a black bag, and lobs it into the open bin. She gets back in the car, drives off. The whole thing took, just about 30 seconds. And information about that car is what led Hobbs police to Avila. They brought her into the police station to interview her. She waived her Miranda rights, spoke with the officer about what happened, was a bit cagey at times. She claimed she learned that she was pregnant the day before, January 6th, when she got medical attention for this ongoing back pain. Take a listen.
Right, so I know there's There's a lot, okay, to talk about, and I just want to ask you, why you think you're here, or what led us to us being here, all right? Obviously, I do know information, and the last thing I want to do is, to start off on the wrong foot and for you to start, lying. Yeah. There's always two sides to the story. Obviously, I'm looking at a evidence standpoint, what we were called out to. I don't know what you're going through, if you're going through anything. We're all humans. Before me being a detective, I'm a father, I'm son and stuff like that. We're all human. It doesn't matter what rank we have or how old we are. All right, and that's why, I asked you to come out here and give me your side of the story. Okay, I'm not here to judge you. I'm not here to question you. I'm not here to accuse you. I'm not here to, belittle you. That's not what I do. That's not my job. So my job is to investigate, and that's exactly what I'm doing. All right. So if you can, I would kindly ask you just to tell me the truth, and we'll go from there. Okay. So you want to tell me what's going on, or what happened today, or what led to this?
I don't. I mean, I can tell you, but I need you to ask, because then I can't tell you because I don't.
Right. Okay. So obviously I got confirmation that you were pregnant. Okay. Right.
I found that out yesterday.
You found that out yesterday?
Yesterday.
Okay. So tell me a little bit more about that.
What do you mean? Like?
So how is it that you found out, or how?
Well, I've been having back pain, like, really bad, and I got in an accident September of 2021.
Okay.
2 years ago. And I just thought that's what it was. And I mean, the pain comes and goes, and so I didn't really think anything much of it. And it just kept hurting, and so my mom took me to the ER, and they just said that I had some kind of spray, and I don't even know what kind it was. And they just gave me medicine for it, and it wasn't helping.
Okay. But
I still didn't think anything much of it. I gave them my urine sample and see if for infection or anything. There was nothing, I guess, I don't know. And then I just kept hurting, and so I went to the clinic, and they did a urine sample, and they told me I was pregnant, and that's when I found out.
You said it was yesterday?
Yesterday.
And where did you go? What clinic? What hospital?
The one on Del Paso.
Del Paso? Okay, which one? Lee?
Yeah, that one.
Okay.
The one under construction.
Right. Who took you?
Myself. My parents were at work.
Your parents were at work?
Yeah.
Okay. So I believe your mom said that she had accompanied you, or she took you, or she went with you?
No, she didn't.
Okay.
I went by myself.
All right. So as I mentioned you before anything, I like to speak, with the truth. Obviously, okay. I spoke to some people, and I know that back in March, is when you spoke to some people, and you told them that you were pregnant. So you had prior knowledge, all right? So I'm not gonna.
Back in March.
Right.
No,
somebody by the name of Walker. Do you know anybody, a friend of yours, a school friend of yours, that I spoke with, and she's the one that told me that you knew that you were pregnant.
Walker.
And that you did not want the child.
Walker.
Her mom is a nurse at the hospital.
I don't
She's
know
a friend
Walker.
of yours. You don't know anybody by that name?
No.
No?
Not a Walker.
Okay. Well, that's her mom's last name. But I spoke with her, and she's the one that told me, obviously, that you knew, had prior knowledge. All right. Like I said, if you gotta be straightforward.
I don't know.
Okay?
I swear I don't know a Walker.
Okay. So, anyway, explain to me as far as what happened today. How did your day start today?
The same as any other day. Well, it was for the past couple of days.
Okay.
I was in pain. I just thought I was, what is it called? I'm sorry.
It's okay. I know there's a lot. I understand there's a lot going on.
Where you can't poop.
Okay. Constipation?
Yeah. I just thought that's what it was.
And what happened after that?
What do you mean?
So obviously, You and I know what happened. I mean,
yeah, well,
obviously.
yeah, but like I can't tell you if you like. I'm not a very good explanation.
Okay. So obviously you gave birth to a child.
Right.
I'm trying to find out where it happened, how it happened, or what led to that and stuff like that.
I went to sleep and then I woke up and I went to the restroom and I was just trying and then it came out and I thought it was poop and then it wasn't.
Okay. So you were where? And you're at your house?
Yeah, I was by myself.
You were by yourself?
Yes.
Okay. I mean that's not normal, right?
Right.
Okay, what happened after that?
I was in a panic. I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
I was scared.
Okay. What did you do after?
I cleaned myself and I just left it where it was and I was scared and I was trying to call my mom but I couldn't because I was so scared. I think she's gonna hate me.
Okay. What made you think that?
Just because I just turned 18. I haven't been 18 for a month. And I'm the baby.
Right. I understand. That's a lot to take. Okay, and that's why I'm here, getting your side of the story. You were home alone, or who was?
No, I was by myself.
You were by yourself. Okay, and this happened where? In the restroom. Your restroom.
Yeah.
You guys have separate restrooms. Yeah.
No, there's one restroom.
There's one restroom. Okay. What did you do after the fact?
What do you
or
mean?
what happened? I mean, obviously.
Like I was just cleaning. I was scared. I didn't know what to do.
Okay.
And I just wrapped it in a towel.
Okay. Did you ever thought of contacting, an ambulance, the fire department, go out there and check you out?
I didn't do that. I was scared. I didn't know what to do. I put it in the bag. I took it to the car. When I was in the car, I had 2 trash bags. Okay. I took one with me, which is the one that I had, and then I put it again, and then I drove around and I didn't know what to do, and I just put it in there.
Okay. Where did you go?
What do you mean?
Where did you drive to?
JCPenney's. I was in that area. I live in that area.
Mm-hmm. So where did you throw the garbage bag?
In the trash.
In the trash? Okay, did you lock it up, seal it up?
With the hair tie.
I'm sorry?
With the hair tie.
With the hair tie?
But I don't even think it stuck because it was broke.
Okay. So
we're on the verge of breaking.
Okay, were you by yourself in the car?
I was by myself the whole time.
Now, Avila asked multiple times if she could see or speak to her mom, but the officer reminded her that she was an adult now and on her own.
So, obviously, you're 18 years of age. You know right from wrong, right?
Right.
Okay. So, you wrap around a newborn inside a trash bag.
In a panic. I just turned 18.
Right.
It's not like I've been 18 forever.
Exactly. But if somebody were to wrap you inside a trash can and put a tie on it, and you're not able to move.
Well, the tie was broke. Like I would be able to stick my hand in there.
What do you think would have happened?
What do you mean?
So what do you think would have happened? You never notified law enforcement. You never called for EMS.
I didn't, and I didn't. I'm still in.
Mm-hmm. What do you think was going to happen?
I don't know.
You don't know what would have happened?
Well, I mean, obviously I know, but and I'm in a panic. There's a baby in front of me.
Okay. You never notified your mom?
Never.
No, you never notified anybody?
Nobody.
Okay, so it's not normal behavior from any reasonable person to do what you did.
What do you mean?
It's not.
In a panic when I just turned 18?
Right. It still isn't, though. We're talking about a baby.
Well, I know what you mean, but I get what you mean.
Okay. Let me take a small break, okay? I'll be right back.
Can my mom come in here when you're gone?
Well, you're 18, you're of age, okay?
Yeah,
so
I know.
Unless you were juvenile, then that would change things. But give me just a minute. I'll be right back.
So not even while you're out of the room?
Let me see what I can do, okay?
So this officer is only away for a few minutes before he returns, and that is when the questioning resumes.
When I went to my house, I just sat on my bed and I was trying to figure out what I was supposed to do, or what to do.
At any point, did you make anybody aware of it?
No, I was still in shock.
Okay. Nobody found out, nobody knew about it? Okay. Were your parents back home at the time? You were home alone? Okay. Did you seek any medical attention, or no? Did you think about, what could have happened, or what, could end up happening to the baby?
Yeah.
Okay.
My mom said it was in the bucket. Is it okay?
Okay. They'll be briefing me here as we go, so last I heard the baby's okay. Okay. So, did it ever cross your mind to let anybody know, contact law enforcement, go back?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm still in shock the whole time. When my parents got home, they just didn't tell them I was still in shock. I was just in my room.
You're in your room? Okay. Did you ever leave the home afterwards? Did you go anywhere?
No.
Did you talk to your parents when they got home?
Yeah, eventually, but I didn't say anything.
Mm-hmm. So your parents had no knowledge?
No knowledge, absolutely not.
And what if I were to tell you that they did have knowledge?
What do you mean?
They told me they didn't know about it. What would you say then?
How? Because I didn't even know.
Okay. You didn't know, but yesterday you found out?
I mean, what do you mean? Because I feel like we're talking about two different things, and it's not going well.
We're talking about a baby that was thrown in the trash like garbage, right? And it's a human being. That's what we're talking about.
My knowledge is when they found out was when the officer showed up at my house.
Okay, so I'm talking about the knowledge of you being pregnant, obviously.
Oh.
Because I know that you knew back when you found out you were pregnant. And it wasn't yesterday. That's what I know.
I swear to God it was.
Okay, I don't, like I said, I don't go that route, but I know. And I do my investigation prior to even talking to you and, coming out here and interviewing you. Okay, as I told you, I'm not here to judge you. There's two sides to a story, but if you're going to come and tell me that you found out you were pregnant yesterday, and I know that's a lie.
Well, sorry.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Then it changes things because I don't appreciate that.
Right. I found out I was pregnant yesterday.
Okay.
Because I heard it. The doctor showed me. I knew back in whenever, but I didn't know. Does that make sense?
I'm trying to reason your actions. That's what I'm trying to find out.
Oh.
Yeah, a reason behind your actions.
I knew I was too young, but I knew I would be able to do, like, I'm about to graduate school. School's not my worry. I have a stable job. Money's not a worry for me.
Okay.
So I would be able to, I if the baby's okay, I want it.
Okay. And what if I told you the baby was dead? What would change then?
Nothing.
All right. Now, the baby's father, who Alexis Avila had indicated was apparently 16 at the time, said in a statement to outlet KRQE that he had known Avila was pregnant, but that she told him she suffered a miscarriage. He said he learned about the baby ending up in the dumpster at the same time everybody else did. So what happened? So a warrant for Avila's car and home was issued where she lived with her parents, and it turned up blood evidence, according to court documents. Avila tried again during her 2023 trial to explain away her actions on the witness stand, but often reverted back to the excuse that she couldn't remember things because she blacked out.
When she told you you were pregnant, what did you think at the time?
I'm not sure. I kind of blacked out.
Why did you black out?
I was in shock, I guess.
What else did she tell you?
Oh, I don't remember.
Why don't you remember?
Because I blacked out.
So when you gathered with your family on the 6th, did you tell anybody what the doctor told you?
No, ma'am.
Why didn't you tell them?
I was still trying to process it myself.
What did that look like for you, processing it?
I wouldn't be able to tell you.
Were you in that moment aware that you were going to birth a baby the next day?
No, absolutely not.
So this time around when you went to the restroom, what happened?
I delivered a baby.
How did that happen?
I don't remember. I just remember sitting there. And then the baby was on the toilet or on the floor. I don't remember.
You don't remember if it was in the toilet bowl or on the floor? So, what were you thinking in that moment?
I was in shock. Like, how could this happen?
So what did you do?
I don't remember.
What was the next thing that you remember?
I think when me and my mom went to the police station to go to the hospital.
Prior to the police station and going to the hospital, you don't remember anything that happened in that space?
No, ma'am.
You told us that the day before you blacked out when the doctor told you that you were pregnant.
Yes, ma'am.
Is that something that had happened to you before?
Yes.
How often has this happened to you?
Not very often. Not very often where I completely black out.
So, we're gonna talk a little bit about your memory of that event, okay? Your recollection of what happened. So you're saying that you do not remember that space of time.
Yes.
You've been in court here with everybody for the last few days, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you've seen videos played. And what have you learned in that time or prior to as well preparing for court?
That when I delivered the baby, I put him in a towel. I wrapped him up in a towel.
And then, what else?
And then I put him in the car, and I drove away. I drove away from my house.
And where did you go?
To the dumpster.
What did you do?
And then I tossed the baby into the dumpster.
At what point did you come to the realization of what happened?
Not for a while, when I was fully able to comprehend and how you and I are speaking, for a couple of months.
What happened to make you be able to comprehend and talk about it?
I've been in therapy.
You're still in therapy at the moment?
Yes.
Do you understand how your actions affected the baby?
Yes.
And what do you think of that?
And that hurts. That's something that he's never going to forget. That's something that's going to live with him for the rest of his life, as well as myself.
You did tell Detective Paris that you asked if the baby was okay. Why'd you ask him that?
Because with or without that incident, he's still mine.
What would you have done differently that day?
Absolutely everything.
Unsurprisingly, prosecutors pushed back quite hard against Alexis Avila's excuses.
You can confirm that the video that this jury saw is of you throwing your own newborn into a dumpster.
Yes.
You can confirm that the bag that you used to throw your newborn into the dumpster is contained in this evidence bag, can't you?
I'm sorry, what's the question?
the contents of this bag were used by you, as seen in the video, to throw your newborn into the dumpster. Isn't that true?
That's the bag that was in the video.
And that's because that was you committing this crime, wasn't it?
Yes.
And with regards to the baby newborn that was inside that trash bag, I'm showing the witness Exhibit 6. It was this baby, wasn't it?
Yes, sir.
He was your baby, wasn't he?
Yes, sir.
And you put him in a trash bag, didn't you?
What was shown today, yes.
I'm showing the witness what's been entered into evidence. This is Exhibit 18, this trash bag. Do you need me to step closer, ma'am, so that you can see Exhibit 18?
No, I
clearly?
can see. I was just waiting for the question.
My question is, it was this trash bag, wasn't it?
That's the one that's in the bag, and yes, I don't recall the bag.
Filled with all of these bits of garbage, wasn't it?
I don't recall what was in it.
Well, you have eyes, don't you?
Yes,
You can see the picture, can't you?
yes,
Can you see the garbage inside of the bag?
yes,
The bag that you put your newborn inside of on January 7th?
yes.
Despite Avila and her defense attorney's insistence that her actions weren't premeditated and that she wasn't a cold-blooded wannabe killer, this jury disagreed.
Verdict. We find the defendant, Alexis Avila, guilty of abuse of a child resulting in great bodily harm as charged in count 1, signed by the foreperson. Verdict. We find the defendant, Alexis Avila, guilty of attempt to commit first-degree murder as charged in count 1, signed by the foreperson.
And during her sentencing, Alexis Avila had this to say about her baby, quote, "I regret his first hours of life were traumatic, and I regret that he will always have this in the back of his head and will think I do not love him because that's what he'll read and hear. But that's not true at all. I do love him. I truly do." So facing another decade and a half behind bars, Avila's attorneys filed their appeal. They alleged that the jury instructions regarding Avila's mental health were confusing. The appeal also claimed ineffective assistance of counsel. That is basically the allegation that her trial lawyers didn't do everything they could to win the case. The filing also said that Avila's public defender should have put on an insanity defense. And as I mentioned, she was released on home confinement while this appeal was ongoing. But now, more than 2 years after that appeal was filed, the court came back with its answer. And that answer is that Alexis Avila is going back to prison. So, what did the 3-judge panel have to say about Avila's arguments? Let's lay it out. For example, Avila argued that the jury was never instructed to consider the defense of insanity. The court points out that Avila and her defense team had previously asserted they weren't trying for an insanity defense, or they didn't notify the court of that. Here's what we know. In May of 2022, this was a few months after Avila gave birth, she spoke with a psychologist who did a forensic evaluation. A year later, as the case got closer to trial, the defense identified the psychologist on their witness list. The doctor evaluated Avila again at the defense's request, but only one report from the first evaluation was ever produced. The state filed to keep the psychologist from testifying at all, but the defense argued they were not calling her to testify about whether Avila was insane. They seemingly wanted her to testify only about Avila's emotional state at the time of the crime. The doctor later testified that she had diagnosed Avila with bipolar disorder, said that after the baby's birth, Avila went into this kind of dissociative state. So the court decided that what's called a limiting instruction would be given to the jury about the psychologist's testimony. The jury was told that the doctor's testimony could not be used to determine that Avila was incapable of forming the deliberate intent to kill her baby. So reading now from the appeals court decision, it says, quote, "On appeal, defendant now asserts that the district court fundamentally erred by proffering a confusing limiting instruction rather than instructing the jury on insanity. The panel of judges went on to cite a New Mexico Supreme Court case that addresses limiting instructions and provides what the court should tell the jury, either immediately after the testimony, before jurors are set to begin deliberating, or both. Quote, "You must not conclude from the expert's testimony that the defendant was incapable of forming the deliberate intention to take away the life of another. This expert testimony was admitted solely to assist you in determining, based on all of the facts and circumstances of the killing, including the defendant's mental condition, whether the defendant in fact formed a deliberate intention to take away the life of the victim rather than an unconsidered and rash impulse. Now, the court disagreed with Alexis Avila and her attorneys. They declined to say that an instruction that was previously approved by the state Supreme Court was ineffective in a way or was invalid. And you might be thinking, okay, so why didn't her trial lawyer, why didn't her public defender argue an insanity plea if Avila's mental health seems to have been part of their trial strategy? Fair question. The district court at the time basically wanted to know the same thing. This is from the court's ruling. Defendant asserted in the pretrial hearing that she only sought to use the psychologist's testimony to explain defendant's emotional state at the time of the incident, not to opine on insanity nor incapacity to form intent. Even upon the district court's questioning to clarify the intent of the psychologist's testimony, defendant made clear that she was not using the psychologist's testimony to support an insanity defense, asserting that there is, quote, no failure to comply with notice to negate notice of insanity, as those are not the conclusions that the psychologist drew. That's part one. The appellate court also disagreed with Avila's argument that she has a claim of ineffective assistance of counsel, mostly because they say she didn't provide enough evidence of that. Now, they did note that Alexis Avila still has the opportunity to argue that in a habeas corpus petition. That's basically when someone is unlawfully detained. So we will see if her attorneys decide to posit that argument in that kind of filing. Now, putting aside all the law, on a human perspective, here's a little bit of a positive note. That little boy who was tossed in the trash, who had this really traumatic, distressing beginning to his life, who was pulled from that dumpster, who is a miracle that he was able to survive that cold night, he is reportedly happy and healthy and living with his biological father's family. That is all we have for you right now here on Sidebar. Everybody, thank you so much for joining us. And as always, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. You can follow me on X or Instagram. I'm Jesse Weber. I'll speak to you next time.